Hi folks, it's PGT Man here. Now, one of the queries I've had since I got the Lexicon Alpha is how to set it up so that you can actually get an input in the Cubase software. So what I'm going to do here is just set up a quick project from scratch and just show you how you need to make sure you've got everything set up so that you do indeed get an input signal. I'm just going to do a very simple speech recording using a microphone. Okay, so the first thing to do is, once you've opened up Cubase, as you can see I've got a few projects that I've done before. I'm just going to select New Project and leave on the empty template. And then we need to tell it where we want it to be. I've got a folder already called Test, but you can actually make a new folder and put it anywhere you want. Okay, so we now have our project window open. I'm just going to maximize that one because that's the way I like to run my projects. Now, you can't do anything at this stage because you don't have any tracks in here at all. It might look like you've got one, but you haven't. So just right click and then select Add Audio Track. Then make sure you've got the right configuration. You need to tell it whether you want a mono or a stereo track. You're only going to use a stereo track if you're recording a stereo instrument, such as a keyboard, which means you're using both of the inputs on the Lexicon Alpha. If you're just using one, just select mono and OK. So there we go. We now have our track ready and prepped. This is the box that you need to be looking at because this tells you which input this track is using. Now I can see down here in the monitor, if I move closer to the microphone I'm using, you can see that we do indeed have an input signal. But this is showing as the right hand side of the two here. Okay, if I was using the stereo input, we'd have a signal on both sides. So that tells me that actually we've got the wrong stereo input. We need the right hand input. Okay, so when I press the record button, I will now get a recording. Now I've got the input level on here set to about halfway, which should be enough. And I'm just going to, this is already primed for record. Okay, if I just click on that button, notice the record light goes out. Okay, so once I press record on the transport function, it won't record anything. You always need to select which tracks you want the recording to be on. So we've enabled the track for record and then we press the record button. The play button comes on straight away and we should get an input, which we don't appear to be getting at the moment. There should be an input. There we go. You see that little spike there. So we do actually get an input. And this should be recording what I'm saying. So let's stop it and let's find out. Okay, so I've stopped it. Let's go back to the beginning. And then we press the play button comes on straight away, and we should get an input, which we don't appear to be getting at the moment. There should. There we go. You see that little spike there. So we do actually get an input, and this should be recording what I'm saying. So let's stop it and let's find out. And there we go. So that is how you basically set up your Lexicon Alpha so that it will record an input for you. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope it's been useful for you. Please feel free to leave any comments or ask any questions. Thank you.